Hi, I'm Shoba.
Hi, I'm Illiya.
And hi, I'm Huda.
And we are from Group 98.
Today we're going to be talking about how to study for nursing school.
So, let's begin.
So, Illiya, what do you think are some of your personal methods to study?
Personal methods for me, I like to be more focused during lecture because it's easier for me to caught the words from the lecturer, tutors, and when coming back from the class, I would just read through what I got. It's just like a very glimpse of what I learned. So how about you, Huda?
Okay, so for me, I like to do my, their schedule, and I have my own book. And I also have two versions of them, which is the hard copy one, which is the book, and then I'm using my tab, and both is the same, but I will okay, if there is any homework, then I'll read it, and then if I want to study this, I will read it too. So then I know what I'm going to do later. Yeah, so that's my thing. Yeah. Then how about you?
Honestly, I think my methods are quite similar to Illiya's. I rely a lot on listening in on lectures. I take notes while the tutor talks because they tend to give a lot of additional information, so it helps a lot. Apart from that, I also like when I go back to my dorm after resting, then we do our own notes. Sometimes I have discussions with my roommate. And also, since you're talking about TikTok, sometimes you get those anatomy quizzes on your point. Those are really, really helpful. So yeah, those are some of the ways that I study.
Mention about TikTok. It's really fun how the algorithm knows what you're searching.
Yes.
And somehow all of your feed will become
It's all about nursing students.
quiz. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys prioritize your quality time during study?
Quality study time for me, it actually varies because it depends on how your day went. It can be like after a long day, maybe evening is not really suitable, so I have to study at night, somewhere around 8 to 10. But if like after class there's nothing going on, then I would just take a glimpse of the notes because I think that's like the most efficient time for me to recall back, before it flushed away. Yeah. How about you guys?
You first.
Well, I think for me, definitely after class, I can't really look at my notes because my brain just shuts down after our 4 p.m. class. Like I'm dead tired. So I usually would start studying around 8 to 10. So nighttime is probably the best time for me to refresh on what we learned that day and stuff like that.
You, Huda? I'm also like you guys. Like, for real. Like, seriously. I cannot, study even a bit after class. Like, from 6 to 7, I think. No, I cannot.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's time for us to rest. So, no study at that time. So, for me, I think I prefer to study at night, which is maybe 10 and above. And then sometimes I will wake up early in the morning, like 4 or 5, and then I'll start to study a bit before the class to revise first. Yeah, and then maybe like yesterday's notes or something, and then I just do my usual routine.
Honestly, that's really helpful because some of the teachers tend to ask us questions the
Yes.
next day, like the quizzes on the stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really helpful.
Yes.
Actually, you mentioned about the early morning revision. Actually, I heard like some people do that, and actually, I really wanted to do that, but looking back at the time I went to bed, it's not happening. But I really like to do that way.
It's admirable.
Yeah, because it's like early in the morning, so it's already set your brain like, okay, so this is what I'm going to focus on for today. It's like already embedded in your brain.
Yeah, I see.
Oh yeah, effective learning is helpful when you're engaging with your tutors, I would say. Like how our tutors will ask questions, or they will
And they choose the name randomly, and then we have to answer the question.
Or they would ask one of us to answer a question and then we have to pick the next friend to answer the
Yes,
question.
that's the thing. And then it's like they give you one word, but you have no clue about it.
Yeah.
Then you have to look for that word. You know what I'm
It's like
saying?
real fast.
Yes. So it's like instead of the tutors feeding you, you yourself look for that medical terms, which is I found really good because the fact that we struggle to answer makes us remember that this term actually exists.
True.
I remember because last time tutor asked about this.
Yeah.
So
At first, it was really hard, but as time went by, and then it's like, okay, it's actually normal. It's actually kind of easy, you know.
Yeah, like active listening doesn't necessarily work for everyone.
Yeah.
But like it really depends on the person because like it can get a bit exhausting just having to listen to the tutors talk and then it's early in the morning so you feel a bit sleepy. But when they start asking questions, that's when your brain really wakes up because you don't want to mess up.
Yeah.
that rhymes.
And right at that time, your eyes just like wide awake like that.
It's open.
Yeah.
And when they mention your name, Illiya,
Yeah.
Yes, automatically.
yes, miss.
Even though your eyes, it's like for a few seconds more, and then you'll just like go to sleep, totally sleep. But if you when you heard your name, just like pop, like that. Yeah.
So it's really, at the end of the day, it's really important for you to be effective in learning throughout your class because all of this, the little information, they all add up to our nursing school. Yeah.
What do you guys think about kinesthetic, audio, and visual learning styles?
I think all three are effective in a way because audio, it comes naturally because you kind of have to pay attention to your tutors when they're teaching in class. Visual is when you start taking your own notes and you do notes. And then kinesthetic is what naturally applies to us because we're student nurses. So when we go to clinicals, we are definitely hands-on, even when we're doing practicals in demo room. So yeah, I think in a way like people have their own specific styles that they are accustomed to, but naturally all three apply to us nursing students.
And also it ups to one's preference because I think when it comes to kinesthetic, it's like you mentioned, hands-on. For some of us, maybe not all of us enjoy theory much, but when it comes to clinical, they do perform. So when they do this, when they're coming back, they will like remember what they
Easy
did.
to remember.
Yeah, and what they did is kind of stick to them. Like, this is how I do. So all of this just naturally be a good thing for you, especially when you're answering your exam. Yeah, all of this. But personally for me, how I like is I think I would say visual because sometimes I can't imagine much. So I will like Google some pictures or go through YouTube. You know how they do like a quick video of what this pathophysiology and all of that. Yeah, so it's good to go back to the video and to get better explanation.
Like some of us still like confused about their learning style, right? So actually it's easy to figure out, which is you just have to go to the Google and then just answer the test and then you'll know which one is for you. Is it kinesthetic or visual?
Small test for it.
Like for me, I think no, it's not. I think for me, to understand better, I prefer to do quizzes. Like there's one apps I download which is Gizmo. Gizmo sponsor me. Gizmo. Like if we have our own note and then we just like transfer to the apps and then it can generate the flashcard, the quiz, so it's easy. Like if the quiz also will come from our own notes, so it's easy for us to study. Yeah, that's how I learn.
So it's like I've seen her playing that as revision before our exams. She's basically addicted to it.
So it's like basically
Gizmo sponsor me.
convert it back to questions, is
Yeah,
it?
it's like online flashcards basically.
Yeah,
That's
sponsor me.
Have any of you tried using case studies or real world examples during study?
For For case studies, maybe not yet, but for the term, right? Because we're a nursing student, so we often use that term. So, for example, of course, during clinical, like
The medical term.
the
like
medical
hypertension.
terms, yes, like that lah. The term, all of that,
Basically,
right?
we can like differentiate the
Yeah.
layman term and the medical term.
Yeah,
So like once we get used to the hypertension, we don't say high blood pressure anymore.
yeah,
So it's like we managed to use our term
Yeah.
correctly in our
hospital.
clinicals. Yeah.
It's the same as when we're in the dorm, like, and then like when we gather together, right? And then we just talk to each other, and then like, for example, one of us just like, wait, let me PO first.
Yeah.
Let me go to PO first. Yeah, we just use that term, not the usual one.
It all started like from a joke,
Yeah, it's
It
from
was
the
a
started
joke
from a
at
joke.
first.
and you don't know, like somehow it just worked, and
Yeah.
you will keep applying
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. So the main thing here is application, I would say.
Yeah.
And like even back when, because we would fall sick, sometimes we get temperature and all of that. And we would say, oh, my temperature is 38. And then suddenly one of us would say, wait, nak aku buat tepid sponge ke?
Yes. And then
Mari-mari kita buat tepid sponge.
yeah, it's actually not on like on us, right?
Yeah.
Like yesterday,
Yeah, yesterday.
like one of our friend phone, like it's really hot, and it's just like out of nowhere I accidentally said, kau nak kita tepid sponge tak? Phone tu. Like, and then we just act normal, like, tak yalah, macam tu.
Yeah. Now like the thing is, some of us like still completing our logbook and all.
Yeah.
So when one of us have constipation, we will be like,
Nak masuk suppository tak?
yeah,
Enema.
want me to help you
Enema.
clear your bowel tak? So like all of this, it looks simple, but when you apply it, it's just it makes you remember, and
It just
application.
becomes part of your daily life.
Yeah.
You communicate like that regularly. You just become more used to it, to the point that you realize how deep you're into it, that when you're talking to people that aren't in nursing, they'll be
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about?
It's a nursing school inside joke.
Yeah, but even my sister feel like menyapa.
Yeah, these
Like,
are just
You know, right? And then it's like I often use that term until she always says to me like, Kak, kau boleh tak jangan cakap benda-benda aku tak faham? Kau jangan short form sangat, boleh? Yes. It's just like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, these are just all the normal terms. But I believe that once you progress to higher semesters,
Yeah.
you will definitely come with a lot of more deeper medical
Yeah.
terms.
We all tried study methods that didn't work as well as what we hoped, right? So let's be honest. What are some study habits that you realize that are not really effective? So maybe some study group, maybe, or YouTube.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's probably group study, one of them.
Yeah.
Definitely. But then it comes with pros and cons. But I would say the cons, which is when you sit in a group, in a big group, it gets distracted.
It becomes
Yeah.
something else.
At first, yes, we study together.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, make it
no.
longer. Make it longer. Bro.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. So we study for 10 minutes, and then we just started to, talk about something else, and then it dragged.
You know why? Because it all happens when you pull out your phone, then you say, wait, nak Google lah sekejap. Then you Google, it goes somewhere else. And then you
Yes.
start to ask your friend, hey, did you saw about this? And hey, did you read the news? Then you
Yeah.
become distracted, and it's all
on and
just
on and on.
It gets even worse when one of us decides to take a 5-minute break and then they go on TikTok and they're like, wait, tengok TikTok ni. Yeah. And then the whole topic changes.
wait, jom buat TikTok ni.
Kau tengok dia kenapa dia jatuh macam tu. Yeah. It's real.
Study groups, yeah. Then,
But then what else?
Oh my god. Can we talk about those TikToks that show about aesthetic notes?
oh yeah. Yeah. I saw one of y'all reposted like
I think I might have a feeling who it is. We're not saying like study groups are necessarily ineffective, it just varies according to people.
Yes.
But for us, I think all three of us can agree that it doesn't really work.
Sometimes
for us.
it works.
Yeah.
Then not all the time.
It does work when last minute exam, throwing ideas here and there.
Yeah.
But then again, last minute exam,
Yeah.
when you're doing that group studies, when you are left behind, you will be demotivated, and that's not really good thing.
Yeah.
So the next thing that people always does it badly is, you know how they do their notes very aesthetically
In those cursive handwriting.
cursive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cursive.
Yeah.
It does look at that aesthetically pleasing, but it doesn't work for me, unfortunately. But yeah,
It takes time, and then you're just stressing over nothing because your writing is not the same like your
Yeah.
writing.
I'm not saying that putting your notes colorful is not effective, but because sometimes we like to highlight the keywords, right?
Yeah.
Color coded is okay. Color coded I accept, but when you do the notes like very long and with those colorful wording, cursive letter, highlight here, highlight there, I think it's sorry, but it's like a waste of time. And
Suddenly we became perfectionists.
yeah.
Honestly, I won't lie, I have personal beef with those people who are actually able to execute aesthetic notes well. Because like, how are you able to not only do your notes so pleasingly, but it actually works for them, because these people end up being like some of the smartest ones and toppers.
I agree.
Like, what? I'm so jealous, but also I want to be like that, but I can't. And it's like frustrating.
We're on the same boat.
Yeah.
But then so you don't have to pressure yourself doing all of that notes, because at the end of the day it's just matter of how you understand your notes. And it's okay to color code it, but if it consumes too much of your time, then maybe you can
Worry
skip
about
that
it.
part
Yeah.
and save your money for highlighter.
Yeah.
Sticker.
And then what are the other ways I think
Goals. Unrealistic goals.
Yes.
period. Yeah, unrealistic goal, especially when it comes to last minute.
Yeah, like last minute studying, when you decide to set goals that you think that you can achieve within a certain time frame, but in reality you can't. For example, I mean, we don't have to go so far. You could start with, I want to study for 2 hours straight today. But you just finish your classes and then you decide, I want to study for 2 hours, but you know that you can't really take it because you're exhausted. So you only last for like what, 30 minutes?
Yes.
And then you shut it.
And then you close your
Shut the
books.
book.
Yeah, and the other most unrealistic goals is you feel like you can study a lot of subject in one day.
Yeah.
Instead, you can even finish one topic. Yeah.
This reminds me of, when it's sem break and you decided to bring your book.
Yeah.
Okay, balik ni nak belajar.
Yes.
But then I want to be ahead of my semester going in, but tak sentuh buku pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, if you bring the whole book, it's not really efficient. But rather than bringing your book, it's best to bring the notes. Especially if you got your own written notes,
Yes.
that's even better. You absorb what you actually understand through the notes, and it's just really efficient, I would say. Yeah, so you don't have to stack all of those unrealistic goals, because you have to reflect to yourself,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
whether
true.
do you actually will do this or not. So you have to be disciplined.
Just remember, at the end of the day, you're your own person.
Yes.
Everyone has different
own
ways of
styles.
studying, and so you don't have to pressure yourself into living up to a certain standard.
Be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself.
And this reminds me of one of our tutors. She said, like, just simply one day you set yourself answer simply 5 questions a day, and imagine how the following days and how it adds up. Like the question you become, how to say, like, you don't have to answer 100 questions in a day, but make it as a progress. Yeah, so don't stack up all of those unrealistic goals and what you want to do. But a little goes a long way, I would say. Yeah.
Sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit.
Yes. Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I think it's important to emphasize that everyone is their own person. And you don't have to pressure yourself to live up to a certain standard just because you want to fit in.
Whatever we talk in this podcast, like what is good and what is bad for us might not be good and bad as well for you. So it all ups to our own preferences on how it works for us. And it is also important for us to reflect on what is our best and efficient way to study.
Yeah.
Just don't pressure yourself so much.
Yes.
That's all. Alright guys, so that's all from us today. I'm Huda.
I'm Illiya.
Shoba, and we'll be seeing you in the next episode.
Bye.